So anyway, so what they were telling me here was that you'd done a training course with Nick Maguire
Yeah.
on using CBT, and this was a few years or so ago.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago.
But it seems really still to have helped in improving the way you work
Yeah,
and so on.
the way we work with the clients, it's massively helped us. It's helped me in the way I work with the clients, in terms of giving me better understanding of the clients I work with,
Hmm.
where they are, and then how to manage their situations. And above all, it has also helped me to distress and come out of how do I put it, deep personal issues that I might have taken it on board and carried it on as if it was a personal thing. So on that level, moreover, what we found particularly helpful was that after that training, it was about 6 weeks training. There was a follow-up 6 months tutorials.
Hmm.
So whatever problem, okay, we use the training, put it into practice. And when we encountered problems, we had every 2 weeks we had this one of the members of the team of Nick Maguire. She came out once every 2 weeks, where we told her, look, this was where I'm having problem using this technique. How can I better improve on it? So we have that on a regular basis.
So that helps embed it, but it also gives you an opportunity to come back and just
put it in practice and then see how problems we encountered and then how we can best use it with the clients.
And that was with the same group of people who'd gone through the training together.
Yeah.
So that it was in effect it was a peer support for yourselves.
Yes, because we all came together and each one related their experiences and how they had used it and what problems they were encountering, and then she would tell us the best way to use those techniques with those particular problems we're encountering.
So it was a sort of ongoing masterclass almost, really, as new issues coming up and you get other people looking at how you might handle it differently and.
Yeah, but it was more like because CBT was strange to us. It was literally new to all of us, and initially we had our apprehensions about using the technique initially, but later with the tutorials, that helped us have the confidence to use it really, because one of the things we did was use MI techniques, motivational interviewing techniques.
Oh yes.
And that was part of the CBT one. So some people had problems with it, and she now told us best way to frame questions to the client so that it comes from within them, and they would like to take how will I put it now, the intrinsic change will come from them instead of you literally pushing them to do something. But one of the problems that we had a lot of the clients was lack of motivation. So we had to literally get them want to be interested in anything we did, interested in hostel activities, interested in wanting to, and a lot of them had this apathy in life that, look, I have gone so badly down that I don't think I've ever come up. So bringing all this in out through motivation interview was really very helpful, and a couple of them embraced it and literally got their acts together and were able to finally address their addiction problems, whether it be drugs or alcohol. We saw a number of successes with this.
Interesting. Is there something in particular about CBT, you think, that because a lot of this learning and gaining and learning not to take it home with you stuff, that looks incredibly valuable, but I'm wondering how much it's the group process as much as the specific therapeutic techniques, or do you think they work together?
I think it's all hand in hand. So both the group process and the specific individual, and then obviously you, the staff. Because one of the main things that for one-on-one, should I say, one of the things we learned a lot from that CBT helped us to do was to have a staying power. Because if, for instance, as a staff, you can get discouraged if you don't get any positive feedback from the clients. That's very common, But to persist and stay with it constantly, and then gradually see green shoots that keeps you going.
Mm-hmm.
That comes both from the staff himself, the staff, and then also through from the CBT, because it helped. For instance, particularly me, it helped me to distress, and it helped me to believe that look, if I just keep going, I'll get it. I'll get it done. So if you just stay long enough, hang in there with the guys and persist with it, and we saw that really people saw people turn around over time. It was, I mean, quite. Some people took them almost 2 years to turn around. That's a long time just in the hostel.
But for someone who's had a lifetime of damage and disillusion and despair and so on, 2 years is fast.
And some even well over 2 years. Some. We've had residents that they start making changes after 4 years of stay. So it depends on the individual.
One of the things that Nick, I know, was particularly keen to promote, and so we've used this a lot, really, in a lot of the advice that we're now giving to how to improve the quality of care and staff training in hostels and support and so on. He's very keen on the notion of reflective practice, the idea that you do, on an ongoing basis, think through what happened and where. It sounds like your training after group thing was a nice example of just that, yes, and the importance of that in embedding.
So without that, I don't think we would have all what we had, all what we were taught with the CBT. I don't think we would have put it into practice if we didn't have that in place.
Mm-hmm. And here, do you find, granted that was a training away from the sitting that you work in, do you find that you can use that same reflective practice thinking with the team here?
Sure. Yeah. We have occasionally we have what you call. Especially when we have a very difficult client, we have what we call a case conference, where all the services that work with the guys come around together and reflect on what ways we've been doing, what results we've been getting, what we have to change to achieve a more positive result. So occasionally we do have that. Yeah, we do have that. And so it depends on, but it really depends on what if you're working with the client. If you're not making any headway, that's when we're just going to reflect.
That's when it's particularly valuable. Yeah. It's a refuel.
Yeah.
Great, excellent. That's a good enough point to pause from my point of view.
Okay.
But if this has whetted your appetite, if there's anything else you'd be really keen to say.
I think the other thing really is the more like the quality of the staff. You must have a staff that has a natural inclination and interest in this kind of job. You get one, because in this kind of system you have a lot of burnout. But if you have a keen interest in helping on clients, that helps out a lot. That has its own staying power of its own, and that's what pushes it through, really.
And you have residents, customers, volunteers, whatever you want to call them, involved in the interview panels now for new staff here. So do you think that actually is quite effective? Does that help in getting the people with the right?
Yes, I think it does, because yes, it does because the clients in the interview panels, they know what they want. They know the kind of person that will show the empathy they want. They can easily sense it. You see, the clients, even though they can be very disengaging initially, but they will know who has their interest. They know that. That's I don't know. That's one common thing among them. They definitely know.
People who've been abused and rejected and marginalised an awful lot are often pretty acute, pretty quick to spot who's actually got a desk behind their eyes, if you see what I mean. Great, thank you. That's fantastic. I'm pretty damn confident that that's going to be a lovely little bit of interview.